Hello everyone. I think let's not waste more time and let's start this webinar.
Yes, yes,
So
yes. Please start.
yeah, and I'll be meanwhile putting everyone on mute so that and if you have any questions during the webinar, uh, you can either note them down to ask at the end, or you can raise your hand. So you have a feature here to raise your hand, so I can see that, and then I can unmute your mic so that you can talk. And so we have I think 5 participants right now here, apart from uh, the leaders. So I'll just walk through now through the end. I think people have taken their sweet time to join in, and
Mhm.
but I think this is the first lesson for everyone who is coming for this expedition, that once you are in Ladakh, we are going to be very strict on schedule, and because everything in the itinerary depends on how much you we stick to the time. So, so welcome everyone. Thanks for your time. And this few days later from now, we are going to a village called Changmar, which is in the Nubra Valley of Ladakh. So, if you have been to Ladakh, so Ladakh has mainly 4 regions: the Zanskar Valley and the Makha area, and the Changthang area, and the Nubra Valley. And so this village is a very old village. I'll just walk you. Let me just maximize my screen. Yeah. So this is a very old village. It has 11 houses, uh, and this is a village very near to the Pakistan border. And so I'll just share some facts about this village where we are going. So Changmar is at about 3,150 meters above sea level. So, before going to this village, we will be doing necessary acclimatization for the high altitude. And unlike rest of Ladakh, this village population is of the Muslims, and most of Ladakh is Buddhist. And the tribe which live in this village, they are the Baltic Muslim tribes, which they have a very unique culture that you are going to experience, because we'll be spending 2 days, 2 full days with them. And there are earthen houses, very basic houses in the village, 11 of them. And around the village there are very high summits. And right now, earlier many adventurers used to scale these very technical peaks which are above 5,500 meters. But nowadays, due to the army operations, it is restricted. But nevertheless, we'll be able to see those peaks around this village. And these peaks are covered with glaciers most part of the year. And glaciers is an important uh, aspect of these peaks. Why? Because they are the supply for the fresh water in the entire region. So the village is just beside the Shok River. There are about 90 people staying in this village, and the the stream water from the glaciers is what these people use for their farming and day-to-day activities. So to reach this village, we go via the Khardungla Pass, so which is known as the highest motorable road in the world. And so that's why, because this pass is for 7 months covered with snow, with under heavy snow. So the village just remains like 7 months. It remains cut off from the entire world. It's just in the summer season we are able to access it, and there is only one satellite phone in this village. And the education level of the village is also very nominal. Like there's not even one graduate from this village. So the idea about sharing this fact is, we um, just want to make you acquainted with what kind of place we are going, and how, and really appreciate the simplicity of the life of these people. and what is the level of impact that we will be making in the upcoming expedition. So this village, which is completely, I can say, isolated and ignored, but we'll be going there and installing solar electricity. So this village, they have it's 70 years since our independence, but the villagers haven't seen light till now. So our I'm just sharing the route map that we are going to follow for this expedition. So first of all, first couple of days, uh, we'll be not going beyond the Khardungla. We'll be acclimatizing in Leh, and one second, there is a okay. So first few days we'll be not going venturing into the Nubra Valley yet. We'll be uh, first day we'll be acclimatizing and keeping ourselves around the Leh region, and in the we'll go towards the western side of Leh to Lama Yuru. So Royal Enfield is doing great things with us, and we are developing homestays, we are giving electricity, and we are also setting up education hubs in Ladakh. And one such hub we have set up uh, at a place called Lama Yuru. So Lama Yuru is also famously known, if you Google about this place, it's also famously known as the Moonland. It's actually known for its a very unique landscape. And in Lama Yuru school, we have set up a computer lab, and which we are going to inaugurate during this expedition. And also there is a village that you can see there on the map, Chogsty, Tsoggsty. So this village is a homestay village, which where we are. So the idea of homestays will be talking in more details when you guys will be there with us. So we are also adding livelihood to these villages wherever we install electricity. In fact, in Changmar village, where we are electrifying, during the electrification, we are also setting up 2 rooms for tourists, and so that is also another leg of impact that we are planning to do. So, and then after the first 3 days, we'll be heading towards Changmar. So you can see on the map the Khardung area. So that is the highest road, and we cross it and reach the other side into the Nubra Valley. And this 175-kilometer odd journey will be covering in about 5 to 6 hours, and then we'll be at the Changmar village, which is almost, you can see, it's almost the last village near Pakistan. And so that is how what the overall journey looks like. So in this the route map that I showed to you earlier. So on the day when we are going to Lama Yuru, some part of the journey will be covering on motorbikes, Royal Enfield bikes, and rest of the journey will do safely in the vehicles. So there's one day of bike ride and 4 days of vehicular journey. So total distance that we are covering in these 7 days of 6 days of expedition is about 600 kilometers. And in village Changmai, you get to, apart from the accommodations in Leh, where you will be in hotel, in Changmar we will be staying in the villager houses and experiencing their lifestyle. So this is Changmar, another view of it, a very small village, and behind it you can see a gravel road through which we reach here. And it's a very simple the villagers have not even painted their houses, because not many tourists or visitors come to this village. So you will be like among the first few set of people who have visited this village. So some snapshots of the village, the villagers, and you can see the houses are pretty simple, and they use the traditional stoves in which they use firewood to cook. And but this village is poised at a very beautiful location, and there are a few kids that you can see in the photo. So So it's 11 households in the village with about 100 plus people. And let's talk about the task of electrification. So it's a teamwork. And we will be carefully, first of all, surveying every house in the village and make a clear plan of how we are going to carry out the electrification, because we will be constrained by time. So a good initial planning is very important, and all the equipment uh, will be already there in the village, the solar panels and the batteries and the bulb holders. So we will be doing uh, household lighting, which will include putting up LED bulbs in the houses, setting up solar panels, and we'll also be doing some community lighting in the installation, uh, which means we'll be putting some street lights which will illuminate the village streets, so that it is easier for the community to uh, move when the sun falls, sun sets. So so after the plan, so the day one, once we reach the village, we'll be making a detailed plan of how we are going to carry out the electrification. We will have a couple of electrical experts who will be with us to troubleshoot if there are any problems, and also to guide you people uh, how to carry out. It's no rocket science. It's a very, very simple technology that we are implementing, and it has been intentionally kept very simple, so that because after we leave the village, after the electrification, the villagers themselves will be maintaining this microgrid. And so we will be talking in more details what is our sustainable model, about how this grid is going to life, uh, uh, like last for their lifetime, not just for a few years. So we have designed a very nice sustainable model around it. And and once the plan is made, and we will be working as in teams, and be ready to take some load of the heavy batteries, because we will be putting them, so we will be installing few grids, so each grid will be needing special battery setup. So more details when you come to the expedition, but again, it is not to scare you. It's simple technology for which you will be trained in a few hours before carrying out the installation. So let's walk through the itinerary. So on day one, 18th August, you will be flying to Leh. So the most important thing to keep in mind is you are directly coming uh, from sea level, almost at sea level, to 11,500 feet. So what happens is the oxygen levels are because low, almost 70% of what it is in Delhi. So your body needs some time to adjust. Everyone is everyone's body take like about the same time, about 24 to 48 hours, to adjust completely to the low oxygen level. So this is an important day, but you're to acclimatize. And so only agenda for today will be to just rest, eat food, and drink lots of water. So water helps a lot in acclimatization because it has dissolved oxygen in it. And apart from that, because it is a desert, it is a cold desert, it's very dry. So drinking lots of water also makes sure that you are hydrated well. So day one, once you arrive in Leh, we will be very strict on this part. You will be just resting, no exertion, no walking around, and only drinking lot of water, and taking good sleep. And now, before we head anywhere in Ladakh, we must first understand what actually this. So Leh is the capital of this entire Ladakh kingdom. It is has been known historically. So many traders and many kings have ruled, many traders have visited. So it has a very rich history, this entire region, and Leh is at the center stage of that history. So we will be taking a tour of the major monasteries, palaces, and historical sites which are around this the Leh city. And we'll also take you. We have a couple of servicing centers, and we have created some local entrepreneurs, so we will be taking you through all that also, when so just to make you understand how GHE has like created an impact in this region in the last 5 years. We have electrified 65 villages, and Changmar will be number 66. And so we'll walk you through that. And next day is the exciting day, because we'll be heading to the moonland, as I talked about, the Lama Yuru area. So before heading to the moonland, we'll be also visiting one of our homestay village. So this is a very best, I think one of the best time of the year to visit this village, because you will be seeing lush green farms of apple, and there are at least 5 varieties of apple that are there in this village. You can just pluck them from the trees and have them, and a lot of fun in this village. We'll just take a halt in Choksti, and so we'll be driving through these kind of very beautiful roads, and to this village, and then we will park our bikes to continue our journey ahead to the moonland, Lamayuru, where we'll be doing a school inauguration. So the setup has been done, and we'll be inaugurating it and joining the celebration with the children for this new facility. And we'll be talking more about that once we are at the school, how a school with no internet connectivity is now having access to all the educational information. So that's something very phenomenal that we have achieved along with Royal Enfield. And then after the ride back to Leh, next day we do the long journey of about 5 to 6 hours via the highest road, the Khardungla Pass, to Changmar. And our target will be, so as I talked about the discipline part of it, so we'll be starting very early, so that we cross the pass in time and we reach the village about lunchtime. We want to use this second half of the day to do a survey of this village. We meet the villagers, understand their requirement in terms of installation, and make a plan. And so for the next day, so, and also maybe if the time permits, we'll also in fact start with putting up the light holders on this day itself, because saving time is the key. And so next day, after we carry out the entire electrification teamwork, so we want to, again talking about the timelines here, we'll again start just after breakfast. We'll start our work, and without any ado we'll be fixing the panels, putting the batteries and the wiring and everything, along with the help from the electricians. And we want to test the grid before it is turned on in the night, because this celebration that you are looking in this picture, we don't want to create any problem there. So we will test the grid in the evening. So our target will be to, at least by lunchtime, that the entire grid is up and working, and so that we can turn on the lights in the evening and join the celebration with the villagers. So this is a special, so this moment will remain with you for your entire life, because in the 2 days you will actually come very close to these villagers who have been living without electricity since such a long time. And because electricity, it's such an emotional thing for these people to see light in their houses for which they have waited. So in fact, you will be also experiencing that, uh, that getting that sense of impact that you have created for this community. So the local chang, so in during the celebration, they will also serve you a local beer which they make from barley called chang, and so you will get to taste that, and make sure you don't drink too much on this day, but enjoy the celebration. And next day again, we'll start in the morning so that we can cross the pass in time, Kardungla Pass. So we should be at back to Leh city by afternoon, and the rest of the day you can spend in the Leh market, because if you are coming to Ladakh, you should definitely take some local souvenirs, especially the pashmina, which is very famous of this region, apart from the local dry fruits and handicrafts. So we'll give you half of the day almost to stroll in the Leh market, so that you can take back memories for you or your dear ones. And that's it. Next day morning you will be dropped to the airport, and with smiles, of course, and some lifelong memories to take away with you. So that is all what is from my end, and I would, if you have any queries, any questions, you can just unmute and ask me your queries. Yeah. Okay, I can see Aman. Okay, I think Aman has a query. Gaurav, you have anything to say?
Yeah. Actually, I would suggest you that you give the clear-cut instructions. What are the precautions that they have to take care of, and what are the limitations? This is definitely a different experience, but we should not forget that we have a cause for which we are going there. Because of that, among these 7-8 peoples have been selected.
Mm-hmm.
So we should not forget the real cause for what we are going over there. So I would like that you people only make them understand, because you have already handled this kind of expeditions earlier. Last year also we did the same thing. So I would request Paras if he can give some insights on this. Paras is there,
Paras is there. I'll see. If, otherwise, I'll answer that.
you can also take it forward.
Sure, Gaurav. So I'll just because Gaurav sir was with us in the last electrification we did with Royal Enfield. So he pretty much knows what are the challenges in the area where we are going. So thanks, Gaurav, for pointing that out. Yes, you have to be like, because this is a high altitude cold desert area. So it's very important you strictly follow like whatever the leaders are saying. So and there is a, I talked about the time discipline, that is one thing, but secondly, like I talked about the acclimatization day and the electrification part of it. So whenever especially during the acclimatization day, I request none of you to do any exerting activities, and at so it may so happen, I want to make you guys aware that if at any time during the expedition we don't see you fit or well, so which should not happen if you just follow whatever the instructions have been given to you. But in case we do not find you ready to go for the journey ahead, so we will be asking you, because safety is our top priority, and also our priority is to carry out the expedition in a right way, as planned. So make sure you follow whatever instructions has been given, and if needed, you may have to stay back. And secondly, yeah, if you have any allergies or any kind of so we are I'm not sure whether the medical forms have reached you. So we have sent you a medical form. So that is a requirement for everyone who is coming for this expedition. And if you have any medical requirements, any special medicine that you take or use, you should be carrying those with you. We will be having a medical kit with us, but just assume you are going so remote, assume you will not be able to get anything there, so be prepared for that. And also about the gears, so make sure you wear uh, you have good fleece jacket and good rain jackets with you, good warmers with you. uh, Again, calling it out, in Leh, you can buy a bunch of stuff, but better you bring everything. So other few things which I think we must have been shared in the Trek Essentials also, but I'm again calling them out. Do take sunscreen with you, because we'll be working and also riding the bikes in the sun, and sun is pretty harsh in Ladakh because we are at a high altitude and the air is thin. So sunscreen is mandatory. 60 SPF sunscreen is mandatory for everyone. Carry goggles to cover your eyes. That is also very important. And during the bike ride, we will give you some instructions to ride in a file position rather than talking and riding. So we want to make sure the ride is safe and completed in time. because we'll have a lot of things during that day to cover. So that is also those instructions, keep those in mind. So it's of course a fun activity to bike ride, but this is a main highway. This is actually, we will be riding on the Leh Srinagar highway. So there are a lot of other vehicles that will be there on that route. So make sure that you stay safe and ride at a good normal speed, and uh, following the file position. And I think that's all is from my end. Gaurav, you want to add anything because you came last time with us? If you think anything else I should be adding.
Uh, Thanks, Gagan. Lot many things have been covered. Just few of the things that you should keep in mind, that you are going there and for a special cause. Okay, so you should not forget at any point of time that you have to be in a disciplined manner. The place is like that, that everybody will feel like to do any kind of adventurous work, but the GHE team that they are leading, they actually do not prefer the bike riding at all. So this was our special request for you people. So that is why they are adding on these things. So please respect that thing, and a very simple discipline that will be informed to you during your first day. Please follow that. That's it. And if you have any other anything like, means see, already in the communication we have briefed about you the health things. If there is any health issue, please clear it out right now. Later on, should not become a problem for anybody. Carry your first aid, medicines, whatever requirement is there. Please carry with you. And this place is totally cut off from the mobile phones. So you will be only connected when you will be there in Leh. Apart from that, any other part, you have very limited connectivity. So you'll have to inform your family members, parents, siblings, anybody, that you will be cut off for these many days and there will be no proper connectivity. Now you can go ahead with your asking questions. Gagan, you can take it forward.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you, Gaurav, for bringing that point up. Yes, it's a big investment in terms of time and effort from both Royal Enfield and GHE team, and everyone should respect that. And in fact, only I would say just one simple line, that make sure the task at hand, the impact at hand is completed. And I tell you honestly, if the task is completed uh, as per schedule and as per plan, you will all be returning very, very happy and contented. So I'll just unmute now Amandeep, who want to ask a question.
Yeah, hi. My question is that do we need to carry our own riding gears for the bike ride, or will it be provided out there?
Uh, 1 second, I will have to check that.
Hi, Jagan, can you hear me?
Yes, Paras. Yeah, I wanted you to answer that.
Sorry, I'm not in a good connectivity. So, hi, Aman. This is Paras here, another team leader from GHE. To answer your question, the bike which will be provided to you will be from the local vendor in the Leh market. And the idea would be that on the evening of 19th or probably 18th, based on the time we have, we will go with the people who intend to bike, and we will be getting the bikes on rent. And to get the bikes on rent, that particular individual will have to provide his ID card, which says, and a driving license, which says that you're allowed and you're eligible to ride a bike. Once you submit that, we have the bike with us. The bike company will give us just the helmet. Besides the helmet, they do not provide any other gear for the bike riding. So yes, if you have gear, please do get for yourself for this thing, for the bike ride. In terms of bike ride, as Gagan was mentioning, it's going to be very, very slow. That doesn't mean that extremely slow. What I mean is probably around 30 to 40 kilometers per hour at the maximum. And there will be a pilot vehicle in front of the first bike, which will kind of maintain the speed of the whole biking group. And if anyone doesn't want to bike or is kind of not willing to bike in the middle of the journey, will have to park the bike and get into the bus. So that is the intent of the bike journey. And again, the bike journey will not last more than a couple of hours, because then we have to go further to the school and come back on the same day. So, and on the way back, we'll again pick up the bikes from the journey where we have left, the place where we have left. So to answer your question, the gear is just the helmet. So if you have any other gear, please do get along, no problems. And if you can, the rest of the things I kind of explained over there. This call.
Thank you, Bharat. So I hope, Aman, your query is answered.
Yeah, it is on. Thank you.
Thank you, Aman. So, any other queries? So,
Okay, let me just add a couple of more things. Just because if you can hear me now, is the installation. Gagan, I'm not sure if you were able to talk about it, but I'll just reiterate if that is
sure.
spoken about. The material has already reached the village. So when you go to the village, you will have the solar material, which is the microgrid material, available to you. So everyone will be given a brief idea about the way we set up the microgrids on the second day of the expedition, which is 19th of August. There's another team leader, Mr. Jaideep. He would be, along with Dagan, would be presenting about GHE and the technical architecture of the microgrids. It is very simple, and so probably doesn't take more than half an hour to understand the whole system as a whole. And then when you reach the village, there will be senior electricians come engineers who would actually guide you through the process of setting up a grid. So all of you will actually be engaged hands-on in setting up the solar microgrid for these 9 to 11 homes of that village, and right from scratch, like getting the panel up, putting the batteries in the room, selecting where you have to put the bulb holders, and wiring it down. Of course, we do understand that none of you has done the electrician work before, so it's not that it's compulsory, but do make an effort, because I'm sure when you do this, the whole community will be with you and they'll be helping you out, provide light to the villages. And of course, if there is some error in what you're doing, don't worry about it. We will always have the electricians, be able to come up and rework your wiring, or if there's something broken, don't worry about it. So basically, the idea is let's get that done as well. So that's about the microgrid, where you're going to spend 2 nights in the village, one night in darkness, and the second night when the light comes on. And in terms of the discipline and the schedule we're going to follow, we will the first day when you arrive, we'll give you a small pager of the hour-to-hour itinerary, so that everyone knows what's happening at what hour, and so we'll try to make sure that we are at that time. The schedule is very jam packed, so we'll try and see if we can maintain to the timings, but we'll require cooperation, because this time we have engaged a lot of elements in the itinerary, which are very very culturally immersive, socially responsible, as well as very impact driven. So it's a great itinerary. You'll get to see a lot of things, but probably we'll have to be on the move and on the toes every time. So just wanted to put a red flag on that as well. Any questions? We are happy to answer that.
Thank you, Paras, for adding those details. So, yes, as Paras called out, it's a very, very elaborate expedition in which we are doing bike rides, also experiencing local culture in 2 villages, and apart from that, installing solar grid and inaugurating a computer lab as well. And also, we are setting up homestays in Changmar, which is also a new thing. There's something surprising, surprise which we have kept for you about the homestay setup. So something very new which we are doing this time in that village. So uh, I'm really excited to meet you all, and hope the excitement is same on your end as well. So we'll remain on our toes for sure during the entire expedition. But of course, we should be coming back with a lot of memories and a good expedition. So if there are no more questions, I'll just end this webinar, and Tanvir, you have any question?
No question, Gagan. Thank you very much for this presentation.
Okay, thank you, Tanvir. And
Great. So, just want to add, Mr. Tanvir, if you could share the details of if the team is finalized, we would like to have the details of the participants if possible. Secondly, we would like to know when are they reaching by what flight to Leh. If this can all come in one Excel sheet, would be great. Rather than everyone sending an email to us, if someone can take the ownership or responsibility of putting this together in one Excel sheet of any of the participants, the age. What we'll do is we'll send you an Excel sheet. If you can fill that up, would be great. And we would also require the medical form. And as Mr. Gaurav was saying, if anyone has an issue with blood pressure, hypertension, please let us know immediately, even asthma, because that would involve us to reconsider our application because it can become a bit dodgy when we are at this altitude. So do let us know and be frank on that because it helps the whole team if you can tell us what your medical conditions on the form.
Absolutely.
So we'll,
So
yeah, please.
yeah, this will be worked out separately and will be sent to you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tanvi.
Yeah, Paras, I think give them today's time so that
No worries.
they can do the complete their bookings and everything, and then Tanvir can share with you full details.
So if you can send it us by 16th, that is still fine. 16th is
No, not 16th. I will prefer that by tomorrow morning, anyhow, everything should be shared with you.
Yes.
sounds good. That would be really great. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so
And yeah, for everyone, again, I'm instructing for the health things. Please take it seriously. This is a different zone. It's not a pain area.
so yeah, I guess some mics were unmuted. So yeah, I am just reinstating again whatever just Gaurav said. Health will be an important aspect for this, and make sure you call out, submit your medical form, and you call out if you have any health issues beforehand, so that we can um, see about your application. So I'll conclude it here and wait for all the details. Tanvir, I'll stay in touch with you for anything else which we may need to communicate to your team.
Sure.
Thank you, Tanvir, and thank you, everyone. And
thanks again.
Hi guys, this is Simran. Uh,
yeah,
Hello.
yeah, who is
Hi,
this?
this is Simran. One last, a very quick question.
Yeah, tell me.
I think missed covering out. Would you want to just tell quickly the team on how and if there is any sort of workout like walk, any regular regime required right now till the 18th that they can follow to be in the best of the shape and to be ready for the expedition? Please call it out now.
So I'll just see. Yeah, let's Paras. You can answer that.
Hi, Simran. So we will send you a small. We'll send you a small note in the next 20 minutes to you. I think are you Simran from the communications team?
That's correct, Paras. Yes.
Okay, so we have your email ID.
Yes, you do. Gaurav has it. I'll forward it to you
Fitness we
again.
normally give to the can do that in the next few days. That would help as well. But frankly, there is nothing much you need to do in fitness unless and until. Sorry. Hello.
Okay, cool. That's all that I wanted to check, Paras, because if there is something, it should be called out to the team right now.
No, there's nothing which needs to be called. They just need to be fit enough, in the sense, no medical issues. If there is medical issues, then they won't be allowed to go in because we'll be monitoring them the first 2 days, the oxygen drop levels, anything. So based on that, we'll take a call how things are. So medical forms were sent out around 2 weeks back. So once we have those forms, immediately we'll let us know. We haven't received those forms, so we can't actually tell what to do, what not to do for everyone. But there's no trekking involved. So no specific fitness required.
All right. Okay. Great, Paras. Thanks. That's all that I needed to know. I will quickly touch base with the Gaurav. Gaurav, where are those forms?
So we'll be
Are they the
sharing that.
part of the?
Yes.
We will be
Actually,
okay. Wonderful.
yeah. Actually, it was
Cool.
already shared
So
with
what we'll
you.
do? We just turn around the shortlisted guys. We'll just turn around those forms with all of them, circulate it with them right away, and ask them to send it back by tomorrow morning. So I think by tomorrow noon you should have the updated forms with you guys. All right?
Yeah, that should be perfect, Simran. Yeah, we'll wait for that. So I think I guess Paras is left, and yes, as Paras called out for fitness, there's not much tracking involved, but we just want to get a general health status of everyone. So those medical forms will give us that idea.
Fair enough, sir. Got your point.
Yeah. So anything else if you want to?
No, Gagan, thank you very much for your time and very well explained each and everything, I feel.
Okay.
And if there will be anything extra anybody would like to know, they can provide us the queries and we can forward it to you.
Yeah, sounds perfect. Sounds perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
okay, thanks Gaurav for facilitating this, and thank you everyone who came for this webinar. And we have recorded this webinar, so we'll be putting this on YouTube and sharing a private link so that you can refer it later also. And see you everyone on at Leh Airport on 18th. And yeah, be ready for the expedition. That's all from my end. Thank you everyone.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.